Hey guys, how's it going? We are back for Season 6. In Season 4, we took our Witch Doctor to Greater Rift 60. In Season 5, we took our Crusader to Greater Rift 70. And this season, we took our Demon Hunter to 75. I might go a little higher this season, I'm not sure yet. But I figure since 75 was the Lionheart achievement, I'd post this one up. I had a pretty good rift start with this one. It was a pretty good rift altogether, actually, as zombie rifts always are. Let's see, 75 took me a few tries, actually. I got 74 in 3 tries. I almost got 75 in the first try. I had enough time to kill the Rift Guardian. Unfortunately, the Rift Guardian was Sand Shaper, so that didn't work out too well. I ended up killing him. Of course, he's not in the time limit. So, here we are. As you can see, my taking hits as a Demon Hunter in 75 is not very good. I'm just standing here meleeing because I'm really trying to kill this guy to make some time, and I know those guys can't kill me from my current health, and when I get down to a certain health, I will bolt away. So, I'm a little behind here, but I know killing this guy, he's going to die soon. We'll pump you back over, so we're okay. For the longest time, I was running the Hellfire Amulet with the Perfection passive for extra survivability, but I had to switch to one of the 5 normal Demon Hunter passives. Those being the Thrill of the Hunt, Cold of the Week, Ballistics, Ambush, and Awareness. I tried running without Ambush for a very long time, but I found that I just really needed to have it. That gives you the double damage up to 75%, or down to 75%, and then the multi-shot takes over at 55, or, well, minus 55. So you only have about 20%, 25 at the worst, where you're only doing normal damage to the mobs, which is very nice. I played a Demon Hunter quite a lot, actually. Demon Hunter is probably my most played character in Diablo, although I haven't used her for a couple of seasons. This Demon Hunter, I rebirthed last season too, but I didn't play her as my main. I just played her casually, because Crusader was my main, obviously. But she was actually my season 1 Demon Hunter as well, and I had a bunch of hours on her then, so I was really happy to get to rebirth her. There was a lot of incentive to make sure she didn't die. I know I procced my death thing somewhere in this run. I just don't remember where. I'm being quite dangerous here, trying to get as much damage as possible. Since there are health globes around I can use. And burn phase coming up. Boom, and they desecrate me right into the burn phase. I've always enjoyed playing Demon Hunters. Season 1 and 3 were both Marauders, actually. Remember the Season 1 Marauders, there's Death Proc. And I actually don't even go up to town. I just sit back and I'm super careful while my Templar sits there and there he goes. Does absolutely nothing. The Season 1 Marauders was a lot like the Assassin from Diablo 2, actually. I remember. It was basically like a trap assassin. You didn't actually need to fire anything yourself to make your sentries fire. They just fired all of your equipped hatred spenders. So you went cluster arrow and multi-shot, and you didn't even ever actually use cluster arrow and multi-shot yourself. You just kind of sat back and threw your sentries in, and they did all the work for you. And now you actually have to fire to make your sentries fire. So it's a tiny, tiny, tiny bit more interactive, but still not bad. But Unhallowed trumps Marauders for most of the time, in my opinion at least. So we're doing pretty well here. We're almost at the halfway point. You see, as soon as my death proc faded, I immediately sprang forward and tried to jump a bunch of these guys together. So I get some more AoE here. And there was my fire phase at convention. And I'm taking a bunch of damage. That vengeance is real savior. You see, you're playing Unhallowed Demon here, you stack just enough cooldown reduction so that you can have 100% uptime on your vengeance. And it gives you the extra survivability when you have a size of goons in your cube. And the extra hatred generation when you put Seethe as your rune. It's just great. And I pop up here and aggro that champion pack. Pop back down through here. Make sure they're following me. Take a bunch of damage. Oh, I remember right there I had problems with my mouse. And my mouse like went off screen or something. So I had a mini heart attack, but my potion was up, so it turned out to be okay. And roll right into the mountain to grab the health orb. Let's see. I know I show my gear at the end here, but I don't show my Templar's gear. My Templar's wearing the usual best of select Templar stuff. Thunder Fury with Ward ring, the one that stuns enemies when they take lightning damage, or has a % chance to stun enemies when they take lightning damage. But here's a shield pile. That's really good. So I can just hold in the middle here, go to town on this big group of mobs. They're gonna buy me some more time. So Thunder Fury and Ward, and then I'm running Oculus Ring, which you can never tell because it hardly ever procs, but it's there. S of Johann, which you saw right there. Pull all those guys in, which is the most useful thing. And Shield is I can't think of the name of it. Shield of Deflection, something like that. It's the one that has a % chance when they hit the Templar to freeze them. And then of course the die trinket. This level was a pretty good roll. You get the skeletons, the zombies, and those little John Cena's right there. Punishers. I can never remember what they're called, so I just call them John Cena's because they just jump in out of nowhere. The grotesques are pretty good here too. The abominations. So I'm feeling pretty good about this attempt here. We're a bit ahead. And I've been getting acceptable champion packs and been playing well enough. And right now I'm just really hoping for a good Rift Guardian. Like I mentioned earlier, my very first attempt at 75, I completed the Rift in time, but then I got so cool as the Rift Guardian. So he chased me down. I was unable to complete it in time. I had to spend a lot of time dodging his mechanics. And then on my third attempt, I also did the Rift in time. And then I again got Sand Shaper. It was all cool. So I was a little screwed there too. There's S of Johann saving the day again. Buffs down there. I got the Unhallowed buff. And I've got the Bane of the Trapped, which is actually really good here. My gems I'm running are Bane of Trapped. Or, sorry, Bane of the Powerful is the buff I got down there. I'm running Bane of the Powerful, Bane of the Trapped. And then the Zay's Ring of, Zay's Stone of Vengeance, or whatever that thing's called. Then I got the focus and restraint buff, which is always good. And the Raps of Clarity. A couple times after I got done farming keys, I popped into a 75. And I had my Nemesis braces on. Forgot to re-equip my Raps of Clarity, and you could really tell I was getting pummeled by stuff super hard. And then I jumped out there, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put on my Raps. And we have the conventional elements buff. One thing about hardcore is, in the end, the high refs, it ends up almost being just like softcore, because a lot of people who are new to hardcore gear 100% for survivability, etc., etc. But then when they get to the high refs, they just don't have the damage to complete them. So eventually, you have to start scaling down your survivability and scaling up your damage to have a chance to beat the rift. So you end up gearing almost the same as softcore anyway. I think I'm about to spawn the Rift Guardian here. I didn't get enough during my last fire conventional elements phase, so I'm just kind of trying to casually kill stuff here to spawn the Rift Guardian. I know I don't need to go further up. I remember contemplating going further up to look for a shrine to see if there was anything there, but I was okay on time, so I really didn't need to. There's a fire phase. I generally try to do that and line up the fire phase with the companion, but I usually only get like every other lined up because the cooldowns aren't quite lined up perfectly, obviously. Like this fire phase, the companion's not up until the very end. So the next companion doesn't line up as well with the fire phase. Anyway, the first 75% of the Rift Guardian goes pretty fast because of ambush. And as soon as we get her down to 55 or so, my multi-shot starts double proccing on her. And then the fight starts going much faster. There we go. You can see her health dropping significantly faster now, especially since I was during a burn phase. Her little... I'm not even sure if they're pentagrams. There might be hexagrams. Let's see, how many points does that thing have? I think it is 6. It's a Star of David. Tethyrus is Jewish. There's one more fire phase. And there she goes. I had a bunch of fun in Season 6. I'm not sure if I'm done yet. I might play a little more. I completed most of the conquests. I think I still have to do the 2-minute Rift one. But other than that, they're all done. I had a lot of fun in Season 6, though. As I always do. Yeah, it's been a great season regardless. Here's all my gear. With that neck, if you roll fire damage, you lose a bunch of sheet damage, but you gain a bunch of actual damage, so it makes up for it a lot. The optimal amulet's actually fire damage, and then crit chance and crit damage rolling out of dexterity. Pretty standard setup, pretty standard stuff. Put my last point in here. Alright. And I do remember none of the stuff in my inventory was any good. But thanks for watching, guys.